If you want to keep training like that in 2023, despite that all the best natties are coming out exposing this fraudulent idea for what it is,
every single one of us is making videos on this
topic, and you train like that and enjoy the plateau.
We will get back to this point later. Minimalistic training has recently taken over the internet, and due to shortage of time and other lifestyle factors, many people are starting to follow this approach. This style of training has many merits as well as some drawbacks. But first, let's see what minimalistic training actually means. You can sum up minimalistic training in two ways. One where you are using minimal equipment, so you will be using only the basic barbells and dumbbells and no other equipment. And number two, a training approach where you will be mainly focusing on the main compound movements like the squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press without focusing on or doing any additional accessories or isolation work. So that was the most basic definition of minimalistic training, and most people follow that approach because it saves time and requires very few equipments. But unless you are a casual lifter who is just lifting for fun or general health, or you are an absolute beginner, I would not suggest minimalistic training, and many other lifters who are much more experienced than me also agree on that. The first problem is that oversimplification might cause overuse issues, as you will be only doing certain specific movements. For example, you will probably only do the barbell bench press and the dumbbell bench press for your chest and the barbell back squat for your quads. Due to a lack of variation, the chances of wear and tear rise up significantly. Now, I'm not saying that you will get hurt if you train like this or that you should avoid basic free weight compound movements. But if you just do them and no other movements, then you will probably have to give your joints a break after a while. Number two is that it does not give you the best growth. Yeah, it will give you the majority of your muscle mass.
What is the least amount of time you can spend in the gym and still make gains? In other words, if a 1 hour workout would get you 98% of the results and a 2 hour workout would get you 100% of the results, the maximalist would say you should train for 2 hours.
Although, I don't think you can get to 98% of your maximum potential by just training minimalistic. I think it's somewhere around 85 to 90% of your maximum gains, which is a lot for an average person, and that's great. But if you fell under that category, you wouldn't be here watching fitness content on YouTube. And that additional 10, 5 or even 2% of muscle can make a night and day difference in your physique. Going back to that clip from Alex Leonidas or Alpha Destiny, another big problem of minimalism is that it will eventually lead to torso dominance.
Don't skip accessory work, otherwise you're going to be torso dominant, an elite bench press with sticks for arms, just like a lot of these IPF raw powerlifters. If you're gonna do diamond push-ups, which is one of the best mass builds, if you're gonna do incline close grip push-ups, if you're gonna do dips, if you're gonna pick the most triceps bias press you can do, the best of the best optimal exercise that'll even put on the majority of your mass. Even if you just stick to that, it's not gonna be enough. You have to isolate on the side with something that is within the realm that you're doing.
The main focus of this minimalistic approach are the major compound movements. But no matter how much you improve on them, if you skip your isolations and accessory work, you will just end up being a torso dominant lifter with big chest, big back, but small arms. We don't want that, do we?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
The last disadvantage of minimalism, which I'm going to cover in this video, is that hyper focusing on efficiency leaves no room for experimenting. You will not be able to experiment with different training modalities, exercises, intensity techniques and volumes because you will only be focusing on a handful of movements. Now, this may not be a problem in the short term, but you will eventually face some major issues in the long run, as you don't know or you won't know what works for you the best. And as we all know, the more you fuck around, the more you find out. Now, I am not saying that you need to train with every equipment in existence or that you should do a billion different exercises. But I would say that the majority of us should train slightly in the maximalist side for most of the time. If you are short on time, just reduce a set from your major compound lift, 1 to 2 sets from your isolation and accessory work, finish your workout, and leave. Do not overcomplicate simple things. But if you want to watch stuff which involves a little bit more attention to detail, you can click on this video on training frequency.